Hello and welcome to Boomer Live. Today I'm joined by Sandipani Tiwary to talk about the game, of course. And yeah, it was a hammering defeat which was handed over to RCB by the Punjab Kings. And of course, we are here to talk on time this time around. Unlike yesterday, we were slightly delayed. That's why I just kept you entertained with some music out there. Sandipani, welcome on the show. And what did you make of that huge win? It just looked like Punjab was out there with intent to crush RCB, isn't it?
Yeah, I think now it is the points table is wide open once again. I mean, we saw that the top four teams were sort of making a difference between them and the bottom half of the points table, the teams from the bottom half. But in the last few games, we have seen again that there has been a turn of events. Now, Delhi Capitals are on 12 points in 12 games. Punjab Kings are on 12 points in 12 games. RCB suddenly find themselves with just 14 points in 13 games, so that sort of makes their last game against Gujarat Titans a must win for them. I think
Yeah.
Punjab Kings, they knew that it was a do or die game for them. A loss would have meant that they were totally out of it, out of the competition. So they did what they had to do to stay in the competition. I think the toss did not go in their favor, but again, once again in the Bravon Stadium, it turned out that the team batting first put on a humongous score and then successfully defended it.
Yeah.
And I think much kudos to the bowlers, especially Arshdeep Singh. I think all the bowlers, actually, Rishi Dhawan came in and picked up those two wickets, and crucial wickets of Faf du Plessis and Mahipal Lomror in the fifth over of the game. I think hindering somewhat the momentum, and also Virat Kohli today he looked sort of in some sort of having some sort of intent. I think Ravada coming in and like dismissing him. We already knew that Ravada had a very good matchup against the RCB openers, Fab du Plessis
Yes.
and Virat Kohli,
Yes.
and this was the fourth time that Ravada got the better of Kohli in T20s. So yeah, I think all in all a very clinical display with the ball from Punjab Kings. Once I think 115, 116 were needed of the last 10 overs with say 6, 7 wickets in hand. I think Rajat Patidar and Maxwell was some in some way sort of moving the game along. They were playing well, but Patidar just got out at the wrong time, and I always knew from then on that even though they had somebody like a Dinesh Karthik who was striking at 200 before this game
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
tournament, I always knew it was going to be an uphill task, especially because Ravada was in good form and had 2 overs, and
Yeah.
also the main star performer with the ball, according to me, Arshdeep Singh. He had
Right.
3 overs up his sleeve.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
I
Arshdeep
think,
Singh has been
yeah,
phenomenal through the course of
yeah,
this tournament. He's been phenomenal. Every time he comes into ball, he makes things happen. Let it be just getting those tight overs in, or let it be picking up wickets as well. And he's been under the radar for quite a long time. I believe he's very close to getting that India cap. And that's the kind of impact he has made for Punjab Kings. But this all started off with the bat for Punjab Kings. I know it was some smart bowling from Punjab Kings, but 210 on the board, you would want them to defend it 9 out of 10 times and only one odd times. And RCB has only chased a score of 200 plus once, and it was 12 years ago, and it was back in 2010. So it's been quite a while since RCB has chased down any score in excess of 200 as well. What do you make of that approach, especially someone like a Johnny Bairstow coming in, just taking the RCB ballers on? I thought RCB ballers were taken by a surprise with that kind of an onslaught from Johnny Bairstow.
yeah. Especially, I think Hazelwood would remember today as he was like taken on by both the Englishmen. First of all,
Yeah,
by Johnny Bairstow and then by Liam Livingston. I think
yeah,
he had a rough day. I have always said that for a bowler to sort of get into the groove, you need those one or two good deliveries early on. I think
yeah,
right from the start, if you take the attack on a bowler, like it just gets onto his head, and if he can not come back immediately and pick up a wicket or two, or get in 2 or 3 dot balls, I think it is very difficult to gain back that momentum. We have seen bowlers like Ravada going off for 10, 15 runs early on in the first over, and it becomes very difficult for them to come back. I think, having said that, Rahul Chahar has shown us that he is someone who does not sort of need that first over to go his way. I think this is the third or fourth time that we have seen that Rahul Chahar was taken for plenty in the first over, but came back brilliantly after that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but today again, I was a bit disappointed with the line that he was bowling. He was going outside, way outside off to someone like a Harshal Patel and one into Hasaranga, when he could
But
have
you reckon
probably
at
gone
this
for those
point of
wickets.
time, many leg spinners are doing it because of the dimensions of the ground. You understand, a Brabant ground is not the biggest ground in the world, but when one side becomes even shorter, leg spinners have no option other than going the defensive way. And many leg spinners have been successful in doing that. So let's talk about the
See,
India's most premier leg spinner in
yeah.
the name of Yuzvendra Chahal. He's been having most of his success by doing that kind of a strategy where he goes away from the batsman, pitches the ball just outside the wide line, so that the batsman don't get be in that arc to take it onto the leg side. And he got success as well. Let's talk about the Rajat Patidar's wicket. I thought that was really a stupid play from Rajat Patidar
Yeah.
because he's got the ability to go over the offside, but taking someone like Rahul Chahar to leg side on the shortest side is not the ideal option. That's where Rahul Chahar worked out pretty well as well, isn't it?
I think it all depends on on the batting, like the batsman whom you are bowling to. If you are bowling to somebody like a Maxwell or a Faf du Plessis, I totally get the idea of Rahul Chahar trying to bowl outside off and use the dimensions of the game. But when he came back for his last spell in the 16th or 17th over, when he was bowling to someone like a Wanindu Hasaranga and Harshal Patel, and
Yeah.
your team is totally dominating. The opponent needs 80 runs to win off 4 overs. I think you should back yourself to sort of beat the batsman in the flight or with the spin. I think that's what something he should have
Maybe
done,
it
according to me.
also could be the fact that they were at the point of time looking in net run rate, and he's also not in the best of confidence, right? Rahul Shah has not had the best of IPL. He got a great start, but then somewhere he has tapered down, and we possibly can't find a reason about that. Let's talk about RCB bowler strategy as well here. You reckon that they were a bit too short to someone like a Johnny Bairstow, because whenever they try to pitch the ball up to Johnny Bairstow, he did struggle in the power play as well. But they went
Yeah.
short. They were just aiming at that one length, which is back of the length, and Johnny Bairstow was just pulling them. And I bet he could play that even on his sleep. That shot he could even play on his
Yeah,
sleep,
yeah.
and he can get it over the rope. He's been so strong in that area, isn't it?
I think Mohammad Siraj's form is like turning out to be a concern for RCB right now, because it's been too many games. I think he has not given a substantial performance in any of the games this season. He has not been bowling in the depth. He has been coming
Yeah.
on to bowl in the power play and has been taken for plenty. And that over that he bowled to Johnny Bairstow, I think it was the last over of the power play. Uh, where at one point even Bairstow rejected a easy single, or probably you may argue there could have also been a two over there. That no ball that he bowled just to take that free hit off from Rajapaksha. I think over there we saw that Bairstow was eager to play Mohammad Siraj, because he knew that Siraj was under pressure, and he was not bowling those Yorkers. He was just bowling short. He was trying to bowl like short into his body, but Bairstow was just pulling him for sixes. I think. He could have sort of tried a different approach, sort of gone wide to him, tried some of those slower deliveries. Just bowling into his body a short of a length, I think it's not the right plan for somebody like a Johnny Bairstow, especially given the dimensions of the Brabourne Stadium. I think the square boundaries are not that big, so it was just easy pickings for Bairstow.
Right.
Also, I today, with the intent that Punjab Kings showed, I definitely got the feeling that they were in it with the intent that they had in the like early on games that they were playing.
You
They were
reckon
playing that
now?
fearless kind of cricket. Yeah,
Yeah, as you were talking about that, I reckon now you reckon they are going to the approach because they feel like now their backs are against the wall. The only way to come out of it is to go back to the philosophy which they followed early on, which is to play that brand of cricket which they set the IPL on fire as well. And they also received
yeah.
plenty of criticism for their particular approach because they were losing a lot of wickets. Even today, if Johnny Bairstow would have gotten out, even Liam Livingstone's wicket would have gone here and there, the score would have been well of a
Yeah.
170 kind of a score, isn't it?
Say it's a questionable approach. Instead of 209, 210, we could have easily saw something like a 140, 150 if Liam Livingstone would have got out to somebody like a Hasaranga or Shehbaz Ahmed at that time. He even got some of those inside edges that went past the fine leg for a couple or say a boundary. He was not playing the spinners well. Having said that, if the spinners were pitching it up to him, we all know that if Liam Livingstone tries to hit it long, how long he can actually hit it.
Yeah.
So I think it's an approach where you will have games like these where Punjab Kings will demolish the bowling attack and score something like 210, 220. But if they continue with this approach in the next two games as well, I think with some quality bowling, you may even see Punjab Kings succumbing to something like 130, 140, even after having that explosive power play of 70, 75 runs early
I
on.
think one
Uh,
game which is going to decide this tournament is going to be Punjab Kings versus DC, because one team is going to be knocked out that day for sure.
You can't say knocked out as of yet, because we are seeing that if Bangalore loses one more and Rajasthan loses two more, and either of Delhi Capitals and Punjab Kings, whoever wins, will reach the 14 points and lose their last game, we still have a tie at 14 points with 7 wins. So yeah, I'll still not count that option out, but
I mean,
it
that's a big
now,
one.
yeah, but now sort of it seems more likely that 16 points is going to be the cutoff. Uh, but again, you never know, because a lot of teams are sort of clustering at 12 and 14 points, and the teams at 14 points are really struggling to get the wins, because I think Gujarat Titans are going to make some changes to their lineup for the game against RCB. But I don't think that will be a easy game for RCB, because especially because I don't think that they will like not play someone like a Sai Kishore or someone like a Rashid Khan. I don't think these players, the core players, will be rested for the last game of their playoff campaign. I
Yeah.
think so. I think RCB has a really uphill task ahead. You may just take it a bit easy, because you know that Gujarat Titans are going to make a few changes to their lineup, and it may really go wrong for them, and RCB may get an easy win.
Yeah,
But
maybe, maybe.
let's see.
Yeah, because that's that time of the tournament. Maybe Gujarat also will be confident about their 1 and 2
Yeah.
positions.
I
This
think
win
Gujarat now
is
looks very confident on the number 1 or 2 position, because the only team
yeah,
that can catch them, like overtake them, are Rajasthan Royals and Lucknow Super Giants. Lucknow Super Giants, I think, plays Rajasthan Royals in one of those encounters,
yes.
so it pretty much like ensures Gujarat Titans that top to finish. So basically, I'm going to see Gujarat Titans play another team on 24th at Eden Gardens.
Maybe.
We can
I reckon
safely
it's
say
going to
that, yeah.
be Gujarat Lucknow, if I'm just calling it early, because Lucknow will qualify. They have the team to do it. I thought
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that loss against Gujarat Titans was just an aberration. They're much better side
yeah.
than what they actually are, and that they were in that particular game. But having said that, let's talk about what is this loss done to the entirety of the tournament, right? Now, if you speak, you have a Delhi Capitals who can possibly just go to 16 and qualify. You have someone like a Kolkata Knight Riders who will be hoping that RCB and RR loses the next couple of games, and RR are going to play Lucknow Super Giants and Chennai Super Kings at this very point, and they
Yeah.
are going to miss Shimran Hetmar, I reckon, for even the next game, which will be against Rajasthan Royals on Sunday. Sorry, or against Lucknow Super Giants on Sunday.
Yeah.
I reckon that's going to be an important match for them, because if they lose that
Uh,
one, all of a sudden there are going to be a lot of doubts creeping into them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Especially because also they play their last game against CSK. We all know how CSK really loves to end their campaign with a win. Even though they don't qualify, like this is the second time that CSK are not making it to the playoffs. In the last time that they were that they did not make it to the playoffs in the 2020 season, we saw that they came back with a string of wins at right at the end of the tournament. So we,
Right.
we know that CSK are going to come hard at Rajasthan Royals. So if Lucknow Super Giants can somehow defeat Rajasthan Royals in the next one, I think if you have the points table, you can just pull it up so that the viewers can get a better
Yes,
access
just
to it.
pulling it up, just pulling it up, just pulling
Yeah.
it up. Yeah, meanwhile you can continue.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I can continue. Yeah. So Lucknow Super Giants, with the win against Rajasthan Royals, would ensure that they are playing Gujarat Titans in the qualifiers. And Kolkata's dreams and hopes all depend on tomorrow's game. That too against
Yeah.
Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yes, yes,
I think
absolutely.
Delhi looks very likely to qualify right now, because they have 6 wins in 12 matches, so 12 points in 12 games. They can possibly end up at 16 right now, and with the
But
balance that Delhi kept,
that
yeah,
run rate seems to be an issue at this very point. But though they have had a big win, they've had a big loss as well
yeah,
against
Chennai
the
Super
Chennai
Kings,
Super Kings. Let's look at the run
yeah,
rates and let's analyze what can possibly happen. RCB has gone down to -323. I don't think they can possibly qualify on any run rate basis. They have to win with 16 points. You have Punjab Kings who are in positive as well after today's win. SRH is in minus. But look at that. Delhi Capitals, they've got 2 games in hand. If they win two, they go to 16. They're playing Punjab Kings. And on the last
yeah,
day, I reckon they are playing the who are they playing next? Last day. Let's just pull that up. Yeah, meanwhile, yes. This looks like a topsy turvy end to the IPL, isn't it?
yeah. I mean 8 teams are still in it. We have to wait and see for tomorrow. We'll get to know whether 8 teams
They're
will
playing
continue
Mumbai
to stay
Indians
in
on
it,
the
or
last
just
day. They're playing Mumbai Indians on
Yeah,
the last day, and I
not an
think
easy
that's
battle
going to be a
again.
big uh,
But I think
game
Delhi
changer.
Capitals still have their fortune in their hands. I think they have their
Yes,
future in their hands. If they manage to win both the games, I think they are going to make it through, because with 16
yes,
points and a positive run rate, they are just going uphill from now. So I think they are going to be above somebody like Rajasthan Royals, even if they end up on 16. So I think
right.
16 points, two wins from for Delhi Capitals will seal it for them. So the game against Punjab Kings is a potential knockout, according to me. The
Yes,
Delhi
it is going to
Capitals,
be
if
a
they
potential.
have to
You did
qualify, they
bring
have
it
to
up.
beat
That's why
Punjab
I
Kings.
also brought this up earlier on. I still
Yeah.
think the game Punjab vs Delhi is going to be the biggest game of this tournament in the group stage, because if Punjab wins, they still stay in the hunt. If Delhi wins, they are out, because I reckon 16 points is the cutoff. You cannot rely on other teams to lose to this very point. You have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
create your own
definitely.
luck and destiny. And Rajasthan Royals and RCB, I believe, have the better chance out of the both, because maybe they might be coming up against a Gujarat Titans who will be looking to make a lot of changes before going to the playoffs. But Rajasthan Royals, they will have Chennai Super Kings and Lucknow Super Giants, two tough teams to beat. But Punjab Kings are right there in the hunt. So even for Punjab Kings, they have to defeat Delhi Capitals, and
Yeah.
they'll be having a tough game against Sunrisers Hyderabad on the last day as well. So they have a tough qualification scenario as well if you look from here on. And Sunrisers Hyderabad as well, they are also in the hunt,
Yeah.
very well in the hunt. So tomorrow's game becomes a much more important game for them. So every game from here on,
Yeah.
except barring few dead rubbers here and there, I think every game is an important game.
No, I was just going to come to that point about Sunrisers Hyderabad. Sunrisers Hyderabad has played one game lesser than most of the teams. I think less than all the teams, if I am right. They have played
Yes,
11 matches and they have won 5 games. So they still have the fortune in their hands. If they win 3 out of 3, I think it ensures qualification. But if they lose tomorrow against KKR, so that will mean if KKR wins tomorrow, that will mean only 6 teams can possibly end at 16 points or over, because if they lose tomorrow, Sunrisers Hyderabad and we know KKR also can't end up on 16 points. So both Sunrisers Hyderabad and KKR, the maximum they can make is 14 points. So I
right.
think two more teams will be sort of depending on the other team's chances if KKR wins tomorrow. But if Sunrisers wins tomorrow, we have another team certainly knocked out of the tournament. KKR will be knocked out of the tournament, and there will be 7 teams in the race for the fourth. It's just 5 teams racing for the 2 spots. I think Lucknow Super Giants and Gujarat Titans have it safe. They are on the safe side of
Yeah.
things. So
Yes.
it's basically good. Mainly the main chasers right now are Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals. They are chasing Rajasthan Royals and mainly Royal Challengers Bangalore. And I think Sunrisers Hyderabad has an outer chance, and KKR also has an outer chance to sort of do something with 14 points and a superior net run rate. So it's going to be interesting.
Very interesting, actually, and that's something which I am looking forward to as well. This is a business end of the IPL. We've seen it time and time again. The tables just turned completely around, and that's what we are seeing here as well. RCB with today's loss have really opened up the table for many teams, and also all the teams will be hoping that Rajasthan also slips up a couple of games, because next game, if Rajasthan
Yeah,
Royals slip up, that game against Chennai Super Kings becomes a virtual knockout for them as well. So
yeah,
I love this
definitely.
game, and I love this tournament for this very reason, and we all love this tournament for this very reason, because there is that added bit of drama towards the end, which makes this league the best league in the world, isn't it? And that's why you love
Yeah.
with 10 teams as well. Nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. So let's talk
Yeah,
about
so
the fans.
Unless you are a Gujarat Titans or a Rajasthan Royals fan, you are completely rooting for Lucknow Super Giants to get the better of Rajasthan Royals in that game, because all the
Yes.
teams that are chasing, they will be after Lucknow Super Giants winning, and obviously LSG would love to win it. So it's just two teams who,
I
like,
mean,
Gujarat Titans does not care.
LSG are also not on the safer side. They are still on 16. If two teams just pulls off two big wins over there,
No,
it
no, no,
will
no,
be
no. I think 16 points are safe. 16 points are safe because
yes, it is. It is
Delhi
safe.
Capitals and
It is safe.
Punjab Kings, they are going to lose one of the games.
It
So one
is
of the
safe.
teams will,
It is very
yeah,
safe at this very point. But if two teams end up on 16 alongside them, they wouldn't
yeah,
want to play, in the third and fourth
eliminator.
position
Yeah,
eliminator talk.
definitely.
At this very point, they will feel very comfortable sitting at number one and two, and they would want to definitely
Yeah.
finish number one and two, because with the start they've got, with the kind of tournament they've had, I just hope, or they would be hoping that. Why did I just say? I just slipped up what my I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
definitely
hope.
an RCB fan. So we get your feelings. It's okay.
Yes. No, I reckon you also hope the same, right? You're a
Yeah,
KKR
yeah.
fan.
I just said that if you're not a Gujarat Titans fan, I think Gujarat Titans really don't care who qualifies. If
Yeah.
you're not a Rajasthan Royals fan, I think all the other teams will be rooting for Lucknow Super Giants in that game.
Yeah. So I and rest other six teams hope that
Yeah,
LSG really make a comeback and that had that hammering which they got against Gujarat Titans might not have affected them a lot. And I
yeah.
believe with someone like a Andy Flower and Gautam Gambhir at the helm of things alongside KL Rahul, they'll be coming out, to just smash Rajasthan Royals. But having said even Rajasthan Royals, they will feel the pressure, but they'll also want to play that fearless brand of cricket. They at this very point, if you feel the pressure in this time in the IPL, you are going to succumb to it and you are going to capitulate to something very wrong. So you don't want that happening at this point of seeing the IPL. Having said that, let's look at what has happened in the fantasy side of things. Sandipani, how did your day go there?
I had a good day, not the best kind of days because I did not have Harshal Patel in my lineup, the player who got the most points I think in today's fantasy picks.
Yes.
Harshal Patel was not in my lineup because he did not have a very good record against Punjab Kings. To be fair. To me, and also I thought with the form that with all the pressure and all the external factors that were affecting his performance, I did not think that he would come out so strongly. Very happy to see him take those 4 wickets and ball so well in those death overs and also contribute a bit with the bat. But having said that, I got all my investments back because I had Johnny Bairstow as my vice captain and Liam Livingston as my captain.
Yeah.
So it's all good for me.
Wow, that's such a lemonade kind of a day, isn't it? Uh,
Yeah.
and of course, guys, play our fantasy contest with Boomer 11 because it's absolutely free to play. You don't have to invest nothing. To be honest, absolutely nothing. All what you have to do is get on the app, sign up, play for free, and win rewards. And you can also challenge your friends right there. Call up your friends. You can be the winner in the bragging rights contest, of course. And nonetheless, you're gonna get free rewards. You can win
Yeah.
so many rewards playing IPL, the football contest as well. There's so many leagues what we provide. And also follow us on Twitter because that's where we'll be doing the previews because we'll be coming up with some exciting preview for every game as well with Jones and Sandipani. So you don't want to miss out on any of the action what we provide over there. And subscribe our YouTube channel and share our videos so that we can bring you some exciting content in the coming days. Stay tuned. And also we are going to be bringing some exciting podcasts in football and cricket as well. So stay tuned for all of those kind of action what we bring. Thank you and have a safe day. And Sandiman, thank you for joining.
Yeah. Thank you. I just hope KKR makes it 5 losses for SRH tomorrow. On that note, good night.
Yes, you just hope the sun doesn't rise tomorrow.